Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next half an hour. Latest UN economic report says India will stay world's fastest growing major economy in 2026 despite global slowdown, lists tax reforms and monetary policy easing as key factors. Nationwide internet blackout in Iran as protests persist. US President Donald Trump warns of severe action if protesters are killed amid unrest. US Senate votes to bar Trump from further military action against Venezuela without approval. President Trump criticizes GOP senators for backing resolution. US Border Patrol agent shoots and wounds 2 people in Portland a day after ICE agents kill Minneapolis women. Protest erupts. And in sports, Indian shuttler PV Sindhu advances to the semi-finals of Malaysia Open. Doubles pair of Satvik and Chirag will be in action later today. Good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest. Well, amid signs of a global economic slowdown, India is set to remain the fastest growing major economy in the world in the coming years. According to the latest United Nations report, strong domestic demand and government investment will continue to support India's economic growth. As per the World Economic Situation and Prospects 2026 report released by the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, India's economy is projected to grow by 6.6% in 2026 and 6.7% in 2027. The report notes that robust domestic consumption and public investment will largely offset the negative impact of higher tariffs imposed by the United States. It also says that recent tax reforms and monetary policy easing are likely to provide additional support to economic activity in the near term. According to the UN report, India's growth rate will be the highest among the world's major economies. The report estimates that China's economy will grow by 4.6% in 2026, while the United States is projected to register a much lower growth rate. The US economy is expected to grow by 2% in 2026, rising slightly to 2.2% in 2027. At the global level, economic growth is also expected to remain subdued. The United Nations projects global growth of around 2.7% in 2026 and 2.9% in 2027. Geopolitical tensions, trade restrictions and financial stress in several countries continue to weigh on the global economy. The report adds that despite current global challenges, strong domestic demand in large emerging economies like India can play a crucial role in providing stability to regional and global economic growth. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with the President Emmanuel Macron during his visit to France. The minister conveyed the warm wishes of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and deeply appreciated Macron's perspective on contemporary global developments and positive sentiments for strategic partnership. Earlier in the day, External Affairs Minister also addressed the Ambassadors' Conference of France and underlined contemporary global shifts driven by factors like trade, finance, technology, energy, resources and connectivity. Changes in mindset have been the crucial factor, as well as the significance of India-France partnership in promoting multipolarity and strategic autonomy.
Highlighting the strength of the India-France strategic partnership and shared approaches on global issues, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar addressed the conference alongside French Foreign Minister Noel Barrot. The interaction reflected close coordination between the two countries at the diplomatic level. Dr. Jaishankar underlined that a change in mindset is the most crucial factor in navigating today's complex world. He highlighted the significance of the India France partnership in promoting multipolarity and strategic autonomy. The Ambassadors Conference is France's annual diplomatic gathering, bringing together ambassadors from around the world. The conference traditionally includes an interaction with the French president, where France's foreign policy priorities and global outlook are outlined. During the session, ambassadors posted across different countries asked questions to Dr. Jaishankar, leading to an open and wide ranging exchange on global developments and regional challenges. India's participation in this high level forum underlines the growing trust between India and France's recognition of India as an important global partner. Bureau Report, DD India.
The four-day festival Somnath Swabhiman Parv, running from 8th till the 11th of January, commemorates 1,000 years since Somnath Temple's resilience against the invasion of Mahmud of Ghazni in 1026 AD. The historic Somnath Temple resonates with the chants while the skies over the Arabian Sea lit up with a mega drone spectacle. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit the temple on the 11th of January to offer prayers and address a public gathering. Sharing the pictures from his previous visits to Somnath on social media platform X, Prime Minister urged the visitors to share their pictures using hashtag Somnath Swabhiman Parv. Remembering the day in January 1026, Somnath faced its attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote on X that the attack and the subsequent attacks couldn't diminish the eternal faith of millions, nor break the civilizational spirit that rebuilt Somnath time and again. He explained that Somnath Swabhiman Parv is about remembering the countless children of Bharat Mata who never compromised with their principles and ethos. However, daunting the times were, their resolve remained unshaken and their commitment to our ethos unwavering. Prime Minister Modi also shared some glimpses of a program held in Somnath on 31st of October 2001. This was the year when we marked 50 years since the rebuild of Somnath Temple that opened its doors in the year 1951 in the presence of then President Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The efforts of Sardar Patel, K.M. Munshi and several others were noteworthy. It was also when the 125th Jayanti of Sardar Patel was being marked. The program of 2001 was attended by then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and then Home Minister L.K. Advani along with several other dignitaries. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas serves as a bridge between India and Indians settled across the world. Celebrated once in every 2 years on January the 9th, the day is not only linked to Mahatma Gandhi's return to India, but also honors the contribution of Indian diaspora to the nation's development. DD India's Akhilesh Suman brings us more on this. Take a look.
Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, celebrated once in every 2 years on January 9, serves as an important bridge between India and Indian diaspora settled across the world. The date holds special historical significance as Mahatma Gandhi returned to India on January 9, 1915 from South Africa, marking a new direction in India's freedom struggle. The observance of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas began on January 9, 2003 under the government of the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The main objective of this initiative is to connect the Indian diaspora with India's development and to benefit from their global experiences and expertise.
This was very important and pioneering initiatives by Atal Bihari Vajpayee government when we have started attracting the Indian settlers or migrants in different parts of the world. The basic objective was to attract trade, aid and investment and where the diaspora community can play a critical and important role.
The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is not merely a ceremonial event, but a strategic platform through which India engages with its citizens living abroad. It not only promotes Indian culture globally, but also acknowledges the vital contribution of the diaspora in shaping India as an emerging global power. In the initial years, the event was held annually. However, in 2015, the format was revised and Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is now celebrated once in every 2 years to make it more effective and meaningful. The Indian diaspora also makes a significant contribution to India's economy. Remittances sent back home support millions of families and villages, while strengthening India's foreign exchange reserves. Overseas Indians also boost India's economy through substantial investments and expertise in sectors such as IT, startups, and industry. To strengthen ties with overseas Indians, the Government of India issues Overseas Citizen of India or OCI cards, which allow foreign-based Indians to travel to India without a visa. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his foreign visits, regularly interacts with Indian communities settled abroad, discussing India's progress and encouraging them to contribute to the nation's development. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is a tribute to nearly 40 million Indians living across the world, an acknowledgement of their Indian identity and a recognition of their invaluable contribution to India's growth and progress. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his greetings on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. On X, he wrote, and I quote him here, "Warm greetings on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. The Indian diaspora remains a powerful bridge between India and the world. They have enriched societies wherever they went and, at the same time, stayed connected to their roots. I often say that our diaspora is our Rashtraduts who have popularized the culture of India globally. Our government has taken numerous steps to bring our diaspora even closer to India." Unquote. Northern Andhra Pradesh has a lot to offer to tourists, and with the upcoming Alluri Sitaram Raju International Airport at Bhogapuram, the state is all set to emerge as a global gateway in coming months. DD India's Tapos Bhattacharya reports. Take a look.
North Andhra has always had world-class tourism potential. Pristine beaches in Visakhapatnam, the misty hills of Araku, ancient Buddhist heritage, and the rich tribal culture. But limited international connectivity kept the region off the global tourism map. That is set to change with the Alluri Sitarama Raju International Airport at Bhogapuram, or popularly called as the Bhogapuram International Airport. With direct international flights, Visakhapatnam will emerge as a global gateway, making the Visakhapatnam-Araku-Shikakulam circuit easily accessible for foreign tourists. Shorter travel time will mean longer stays and higher tourist spending. The impact is already visible. Leading hotel chains like Oberoi and Taj are exploring new properties around the airport, while the whole stretch near the airport is shaping up as a premium hospitality corridor.
Attached to the airport, all sites of the five-star hotels are coming up. The logistics will come down. So for weddings, for conventions, it is very useful. And this is the first airport in the country with a beach resorts. All beach resorts are within 5-kilometer radius. Nowhere in India, beach resorts are next to the airport.
Beyond big investments, local tour operators, artisans, transport providers, and homestays are expected to benefit from the rising footfall. What connectivity does for tourism is simple yet transformative. It brings the world closer. With Bhogapuram Airport opening the gates to global footfall, North Andhra's beaches, hills, and heritage are no longer hidden treasures. They are ready to welcome the world. With camera person Aniket Dubey, this is Tapos Bhattacharya for DD India from Bhogapuram Airport, North Andhra Pradesh.
In Bangladesh, police have arrested the prime accused in the lynching of Hindu garment worker Deepu Chandra Das in Bhaluka. The accused has been identified as Muhammad Yasin Arafat, who worked as an imam at a mosque in Sheikh Bari area. He was arrested from Dhaka's Timra area. According to police, Yasin played a key role in instigating and leading the mob attack on 18th of December. The arrest comes amid continued investigation into the brutal killing that sparked international outrage. So far, police have arrested 21 people in connection with the case, and 9 of them have given confessional statements before a court. Deepu Chandra Das was lynched and his body burnt after being hung from a tree near his workplace at Dubli Pada on allegations of hurting religious sentiments. However, investigators said they found no evidence supporting the allegations. Now let's get to global weather updates. Snow blanketed streets in Walsall, central England on Thursday as Storm Goretti continued to bring wintry conditions to parts of northwest Europe. People walked and drove along snow-covered roads with statues, vehicles and train stations dusted white as flakes continued to fall. The Western Balkans experienced severe winter weather, with Croatia hitting minus 17 degrees Celsius and difficult travel in Belgrade. While in Bosnia, residents cleared roads as temperatures are set to rise slightly before colder weather returns. In Turkey, stormy winds on Thursday whipped roofs of the buildings in Dilovasi and Herike, scattering belongings indoor. Emergency crews in Albania deployed boats to rescue victims of severe flooding on Thursday after heavy rains caused the Vjosa River to burst its bank. The river overflowed to over 9 meters, flooding farms and villages, with emergency services pumping water from 800 buildings and sheltering around 300 people. In India, a severe spell of bone-chilling cold and dense fog disrupting life across northern India, while a strengthening depression over the Bay of Bengal is expected to bring heavy rainfall to parts of southern India. The IMD has forecast dense to very dense fog during the morning hours over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi. Similar conditions are likely across UP and Rajasthan, with visibility expected to fall to near zero in several areas. As per weather experts, Madhya Pradesh and UP have broken all-time January low temperature records, with several locations recording temperatures from 6 to 10 degrees Celsius, which is below the normal category. Gwalior registered its lowest ever January maximum temperature at 10.4 degrees Celsius on Thursday. In contrast, southern India is preparing for heavy rainfall as a deep depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal moves west-northwest. The system is expected to cross the Sri Lankan coast by the evening of 9th January. The Indian Meteorological Department has warned that the system could trigger heavy to very heavy rainfall over coastal Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Karaikal, raising concerns of waterlogging and localized flooding in low-lying areas. Time for a short break. We'll be right back.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. Now let's get to updates from West Asia. A nationwide internet blackout was reported in Iran on Thursday as protests over economic hardships continued around the country. The movement, which originated with a shutdown on Tehran Bazaar on 28th of December 2025 after the rial currency plunged to record lows. Unrest has since spread nationwide amid deepening distress over economic privations arising from rocketing inflation driven by mismanagement and Western sanctions and curbs in political and social freedoms. The movement has also spread to higher education, with final exams of Tehran's major Amir Kabir University postponed for a week. Local media and official statements have reported at least 21 people, including security forces, have died since the unrest began in late December. US President Donald Trump, meanwhile, warned on Thursday to take severe action against Iran if its authorities start killing people, warning Washington would hit them very hard. The U.S. Senate advanced a resolution on Thursday that would bar President Donald Trump from further military action against Venezuela without congressional authorization. The vote on a procedural measure to advance the war powers resolution was 52 to 47, as 5 Republicans also voted with Democrats in favor of moving ahead. 1 Republican senator did not vote. The voting took place 5 days after Trump ordered military operation to capture Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. It was a significant victory for lawmakers who have been arguing that Congress, not the president, should have the power to send the troops to war as spelled out in the Constitution. Thursday's vote now paved the way for Senate debate and vote on final passage in the next week. Trump condemned the Republicans who voted for the resolution, saying in a post on X that the party should be ashamed of the senators that just voted with the Democrats in attempting to take away our powers to fight and defend the United States of America. He added this vote greatly hampers American self-defense and national security, impeding the president's authority as commander-in-chief. Tensions between Minnesota and federal officials deepened on Thursday over a U.S. immigration agent's fatal shooting of a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. Trump and his allies have defended the shooting as an act of self-defense, while Minnesota officials have denounced it as an act of unrestrained violence. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said that President Trump and himself stood with ICE and claimed that the slain woman was linked to a left-wing network targeting ICE officers.
The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before, and everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
The incident drew condemnation from local officials and sparked widespread protests in the state and beyond. Federal immigration officers used pepper ball guns and tear gas to subdue protesters during noisy anti-ICE demonstrations in Minneapolis. Faith leaders and community members gathered in front of the federal building in Los Angeles to denounce the shooting. Demonstrators called for accountability as investigations continue into the agent's use of force. Minneapolis residents also held a vigil and offered prayers for Renee Nicole Good. Meanwhile, state and federal officials have conflicting accounts about the shooting. Meanwhile, in another shooting incident, U.S. federal agents shot 2 people in Portland on Thursday afternoon. The patients were transported to the hospital and their conditions are still unknown. As per the reports, the agents involved in the shooting were U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents and that the FBI was leading the probe. And now let's get you all the latest action from the world of sports, to begin with badminton. India's 2-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu progressed to the semi-final of the Malaysia Open after her opponent, 3rd seed Akane Yamaguchi of Japan, retired midway due to injury on Friday. In the solitary set that the world numbers 18 and 3 completed in the quarterfinals, Sindhu quickly reached 21-11 in 12 minutes before Yamaguchi asked the chair umpire that her injury is hampering her movement and she could no longer continue. Earlier on Thursday, Sindhu defeated 8th seed Tomoko Miyazaki of Japan in the second round match on Thursday. In football, Arsenal missed the chance to go 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League in a 0-0 draw with champions Liverpool at a rain-drenched Emirates Stadium on Thursday. Mikel Arteta's side had won 7 successive home league games and were expected to take advantage of title rivals dropping points, but were subdued against a Liverpool side who extended their unbeaten league run to 9 games. The draw put Arsenal 6 points clear of Manchester City and Aston Villa, while Liverpool remains 4th, 14 points adrift despite a 9-game unbeaten league run. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from the country and the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.